Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. We're having a hell of a correction, a great BTFD opportunity. Seize the moment. Bitcoin corrected after tapping above 102.8 yesterday. We're all the way back down to 96. Expect more extreme volatility. And in today's show, I'll be sharing everything you need to know, including the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin ETF's roarback with second day of 900 million plus worth of inflows. We'll also be discussing KULR Technology predicts $200,000 Bitcoin price after buying the $97,000 dip. Also, the Czech Republic National Bank governor weighs Bitcoin for future reserve strategy. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin reserve might be established by the potential next Canadian Prime Minister. That's right, Justin Trudeau has bowed out. Who's going to be next? Will it be Bitcoin friendly? We'll be discussing this, as well as Bitcoin on its way to the coveted 1 million price target at 10x from here in 2025, according to PlanB, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, yo, in today's show. If you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes, then subscribe and hit that sexy bell icon. Ring the bell. Turn on all notifications. And today is pod episode number 1871. I'm your host, JV. It's January 7, 2024. Bitcoin jumped literally like 5,000 the other day. Today, 5,000, 6,000 correction. We went from 102.8 ballpark. We even had a pump watch, and now we're all the way down to 96. So stack them sats accordingly. Let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day, fam. As you can see on your screen, blood red, great BTFD opportunity. Bitcoin down 5.5% on the day. We have Ether down 8%, XRP down 6%, blood red, Rec City. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at $3.38 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap just the other day was above 2 trillion. We're right back down to 1.9 trillion as of today. 153 billion worth of the volume, but the past 24 hours with a Bitcoin dominance at 56.6%, Ether dominance back on the decline at 12.1%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, BGP leading the pack, and virtually everything else correcting and in the red. So 99% of the top 100 coins in the red today. And checking out the crypto bubbles visual perspective, Rec City, and zooming out on the monthly, only a handful in the green. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. What did I say yesterday? I said we're in a 76 extreme greed. The higher this number goes, the more likely of a correction. And lo and behold, big correction today. Today we're 78 extreme greed. Last week is 64, and last month is 79 extreme greed. Also, as I referenced yesterday, you could get less than 1,000 sats per dollar. Well, we're back above 1,000. We're on block height number 878,248. You currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,028 sats. So stack the sats, put down the gats, and cop yourself some new Bitcoin caps at bitcoincaps.net. But let's dive into today's technical analysis and check out some of the live charts. As you can see, big correction in the markets. But yeah, headline here reads, Bitcoin price loses 4% on the U.S. JOLTS data as Bitcoin trader warns of a 92 dip. We're not too far from 92 right now. Here, looking at the 1 hour chart, and I'll be pulling up the live charts here shortly. So yeah, TradingView showed Bitcoin dipping and continuing to dip at the time of the live. The move came amid the macro reactions to U.S. job openings and labor turnover survey data, which showed a hiring surge and a boost to the labor market. Quoting them here, market catalyzed lower on the JOLTS rising. However, without initial jobless claims going up, a rising JOLT means one thing: job creation. Excited to let the market fall today and back into the longs tomorrow. So enjoy this BTFD opportunity. We may be back on the rise before you can blink your eyes. Fully reversing snap gains from the day prior, Bitcoin was at the mercy of a large volume traders as recently placed support disappeared. Keith Allen from Material Indicators labeled the practice spoofing, the deliberate shifting of liquidity in order books by entities with large amounts of capital. Hence, the whales playing silly games with us. Spoofs are annoying, but they do tend to facilitate some predictable price action for the biddy. Spoofing can significantly impact the price action, which we're witnessing on the shorter time frames, with Bitcoin seeing swings due to the liquidity appearing and disappearing above and below the price. Alan uploaded this chart on Binance, highlighting the removal of recent liquidity blocks. Now, Scoo noted that the late long Bitcoin positions have been wiped out thanks to the retracement. CoinGlass confirmed that more than 30 million of longs were liquidated in a single hour on the day. And quoting Rec Capital, a daily close above 101, which you can see in the black, is needed to confirm a successful retest. And also some eye to potential invalidation of a bearish head and shoulders formation on the daily chart, which I'll be pulling up here shortly, with current 108. All-time highs as the peak, 108.3 to be more precise. The latest retracement, according to Cheds, now puts that theory in jeopardy, quoting him here. Bitcoin Daily now working on the throwback to the broken LH right shoulder invalidation zone. And quoting Justin Bennett, another analyst, testing support now, but lose this and Bitcoin probably test the lows of 92. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analyst. And now I'll pull up some of the live charts so you guys can see where we're at live and in the flesh. And again, welcome everyone joining us on today's live stream, a great BTFD opportunity, which you can see in the live chart here. Here's the 1 hour via Coinbase. You can see a big corrective move after tapping. Yesterday we were above 102, and today at the time of the live we're at 96, and we may potentially drop even lower as we're currently dropping. And zooming out from the 1 hour, let's check out the 4 hour. We still have some bullish targets in play on the 1 hour and 4 hour charts, sitting at 110. 110.4 to be more precise, and 108.5, as you can see here on your screen. And zooming out from there, we'll check out the daily chart. You can see the clear big red corrective candle forming on the daily after a big green bullish candle yesterday. We got the rising wedgie, my only recommended wedgie, gentlemen. And we do have some bull targets as well, sitting above 110. And zooming out from the daily, get a quick reminder of the weekly. We still have the sexy cup and handle target, which is sitting at $124,000 in play here for Q1. And zooming out from the weekly, take a quick look at the monthly. And as you can see, the first week of January. Today is the 7th day. And so far, still in the green as we're floating just above 96 G's, baby. But keep the comments flowing and let's dive into our next story of the day, shall we? Here's the latest with the Bitcoin ETFs after this freeze frame, which always occurs. Here's the latest. Bitcoin ETFs roar back with second day of 900 million worth of inflows, practically $1 billion. The Bitcoin ETFs attracted almost $1 billion of investors' money on Jan 6, led by Fidelity's Wise Bitcoin Origin Fund at $370 million, while BlackRock's iShares ETF and the ARK21 shares rounded out the top three with $209 million and $153 million, according to data from Farside. And I ain't talking about the comic strip. Wasn't that a popular comic, Farside, back in the day? Bitwise, did anyone used to read the funnies? That used to be the only thing I looked at on the newspaper when I was a kid. My father would always get the newspaper, and I'd just read the comics. And I think I remember one of the segments being Farside. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bitcoin ETF and Grayscale, two spot Bitcoin ETFs, ticker GBTC and BTC saw over 70 million of inflows Jan 6, while the Van Eck ETF and Franklin Bitcoin ETF racked up 17 million and 9 million respectively. The spot Bitcoin ETFs issued by Invesco, Valkyrie, and WisdomTree each recorded a zero inflow on the day. Now, when's the last time you actually saw a newspaper? By the way, I'm curious. I think the last one I saw was during Novid. I remember going to Clearwater, staying at a resort, and I remember they delivered the newspaper to the door of the hotel we stayed at. Last time I've seen one, it was a very long time ago. I guess probably extinct nowadays, but who knows. The two strong days, January 3rd and the 6th, almost canceled out the $2 billion of net outflows seen between December 19th and January 2nd. With the latest inflows, the spot Bitcoin ETFs have now accumulated $37 billion of net inflows since the products launched nearly a year ago. iShares Bitcoin ETF by BlackRock leads with $37.5 billion in net inflows, followed by Fidelity Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund at 12 billion. And then we have Grayscale's GBTC, which bled 21 billion of outflows. GBTC used to be the largest Bitcoin holder of the world. I believe it was like over 500,000 of the Bitcoin. And then all their outflows ultimately just went right into BlackRock's accumulation, which now has over 500,000, ironic enough. In October 25th, a report from the crypto exchange Binance followed that nearly 80% of the demand for the Bitcoin ETFs has come from the retail, not the institutional FOMO like a mofo. Industry analysts such as the Bitwise Chief Investment Officer Matt Hugin expect more institutional involvement this year when more clearinghouses for the spot Bitcoin trading comes online. That is one of the catalysts behind the Bitwise bullish 200,000 price target for 2025, while Van Eck expects Bitcoin to top 180 G's, baby. But anyways, keep the comments flowing. Let's move into our next story of the day. Still got so much to share with you guys. We're going to discuss this 200,000 target. Now, we broke down the latest with the ETF volume. KULR Tech predicts 200,000 biddy price after buying the 97,000 dip. That's right. Bitcoin may reach 200,000, which is a modest 100% increase from here during this year's 2025 bull market cycle, according to the New York Stock Exchange listed KULR Tech Group, which bought millions worth of the biddy during the correction. That's right. KULR Tech Group bought over 21 million worth of the Bitcoin at an average price of 97 G's just yesterday, Jan 6, according to their announcement. The 21 million purchase occurred hours before the Bitcoin reclaimed the 100,000 mark for the first time since December 19th. That's what's up. Now, still, Bitcoin may double its price from the current valuation, driven by growing adoption worldwide. According to Michael Moe, their CEO, this may set up Bitcoin for a cycle top of 200 G's in 2025. I think that's bearish and modest, but nonetheless, that's their prediction. Quoting them here. The biggest catalyst is the adoption of strategic Bitcoin reserve by nations and states, US, Germany, Switzerland, and any other countries are currently looking into it. Amen. And in December, KULR acquired 217 of the biddy for approximately 21 million, marking the launch of the Bitcoin treasury, as many other companies are following in the footsteps. KULR said the acquisition is the first of several planned purchases as part of a broader strategy to allocate up to 90% of the surplus cash into the biddy. The Bitcoin US Act, championed by Senator Cynthia Lummis, proposes the creation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the world's largest economy. Bitcoin may eventually surpass $1 million per coin if the Bitcoin Act is accepted by the US lawmakers, according to Adam Back, the Bitcoin OG himself, and the inventor of the Hashcash. However, Bitcoin's market cap would need to attract another $2 trillion worth of capital to surpass that 200 mark, which would see Bitcoin surpass Apple's almost $4 trillion market cap to become the world's second largest asset. And there you go. And quoting analysts here, the rally faltered in late December when the Federal Reserve reduced its planned 2025 rate cuts from 4 to 2, despite a modest 0.25% cut during the month, triggering the sharp market correction that wiped over 0.5 TB from the crypto market cap. I guess they're saying $500 billion there. And the latest estimates suggest the odds of a 0.25% interest rate cut at just 9%, while the odds of holding the current rate stand at a whopping 90%, meaning it's most likely they don't drop the rates, but you just never know when it comes to Jay Powell and the Fed. And quoting Binance Research, sustaining these levels over the long term will depend upon the various factors, including the actual implementation of the crypto regulations and the Federal Reserve policy path in 2025. And if you don't know, now you know. Bang, bang. Like the B-52. Next story of the day. We actually got to discuss the Czech Republic adoption of Bitcoin, then Canada Prime Minister potentially adopting Bitcoin. New Prime Minister, you know, Trudeau, however you pronounce that a-hole's name. He resigned, which is great sign of the times. I don't think anyone wanted him there anymore, including his own people. I just pray he's not replaced by another puppet, you feel me? Which, unfortunately, politics is often that ways, but we're going to be open-minded, and I'll read the latest for you, and then we'll discuss $1 million prediction from PlanB, creator of the Bitcoin stock-to-flow model, and then we'll dive into our live Q&A and flip it into an uncensored after party on Rumble, and we'll premiere a brand new music video for Bitcoin kids. So we got a lot lined up for you. So yeah, the headline here, Czech Republic National Bank Governor weighs Bitcoin for the future. Reserve strategy. Well, Bitcoin is live future, so smart thinking here. The governor of the Czech National Bank, I'm not going to pretend I understand how to pronounce his name, but let's just say Alice, recently considered Bitcoin as a potential diversification strategy for the country's foreign exchange reserves, highlighting growing government interest in crypto as a savings technology. And that's precisely what I like to preach Bitcoin is. It's the ultimate savings technology, mathematically guaranteed to increase your purchasing power against the dwindling purchasing power of the US dollar. And that's precisely what it does. Now, in a new interview with CNN Prima News, they said he was considering acquiring a few biddies for diversification, which couldn't count as a significant investment or wouldn't count as a significant investment for the bank. The Czech National Bank's board, composed of 7 members, would need to approve any decision to acquire that biddy. And when asked about the potential acquisition, Janice, an advisor on the board, confirmed that the bank is not currently planning a Bitcoin investment. But still, this guy remains open to considering Bitcoin diversification for the future. Quoting him here, the governor. To sum it up, CNB is now not considering buying crypto assets for its reserves. However, Governor McKell did not rule out the further future debate of the topic. So you're saying there's a chance the bank will continue its diversification plan via the gold purchases in the near future, with plans to increase gold holdings to about 5% of its total assets by the time of the next halving, 2028. Bitcoin could emerge as a significant reverse asset next to gold. No, it will. Thanks to its robust yearly returns, the greatest appreciating asset of all time. During the past year, Bitcoin rose over 131%, like a phoenix from the ashes, while the gold prices rose about 30%. Take that, Peter Schiffmeister. It's not too late to capitulate. Bitcoin's 130% yearly returns occurred while the corporate executives were selling stocks at unprecedented levels at a ratio of 6 buyers or sellers to buyers. Macau's remarks suggest a growing shift amongst governments and institutions reevaluating their financial strategies to include the biddy. And according to Andy Leon, author of the Intergovernmental Blockchain, quoting him here, as more countries ponder the path, we might see a gradual redefinition of what constitutes a safe reserve asset. If Bitcoin becomes a staple in national reserves, it could fundamentally alter the landscape of the global finance, pushing for more decentralized and digital approaches to economic stability. However, the Bitcoin price volatility may also be a double-edged sword for the national reserves. A game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first before you move. A little throwback, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. But anyways, Bitcoin's status as a savings tech is also gaining traction in the U.S., known as one of the most anticipated crypto-related bills, the Bitcoin Act, which we touched upon earlier with Cynthia Lummis proposing it, which is to purchase 1 million Bitcoin over the course of 5 years for the U.S. government and stockpile the biddy. And we all know that Trump takes office in literally 2 weeks. And this is the scenario which I believe, and many other experts, including Blockstream CEO Adam Back, believe will push Bitcoin to 1 million per coin. And even Eric Trump, Trump's own son, just recently spoke at that event in Abu Dhabi in the Middle East, proposing very bullishness for the biddy, which seems likely to take place. I think there's a very strong probability of establishing the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. Yeah, next story of the day, fam. Let's discuss the latest with Canada. We got the big news the other day. Fantastic news. Everyone's celebrating the resignation of Justin Trudeau. This headline reads, Bitcoin Reserve might be established by potential next Canadian Prime Minister. According to several reports, at least, according to Reuters, Trudeau is increasingly likely to announce he intends to step down. And I think he officially announced it because it was breaking news just the other day. Trudeau's rumored exit coincides with polls signaling a notable decline in Liberal support. According to CNBC News poll tracker, the official opposition, Conservatives led by Pierre, had built a commanding 23% lead with a projected 44% of the vote going to them if an election were held today. Notably, Pierre has voiced pro-Bitcoin sentiments in the past and might usher in policies more welcoming of digital assets. Bitcoin Inc. CEO David Bailey, who was instrumental in orange-pilling U.S. President Trump, fueled the rumors, stating via X that Pierre will deliver Canada a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I hope he's right there. That'd be pretty fantastical. Bailey and others, experts on X, echoed Trump's own plans during his campaign at the Bitcoin 2024 conference. He spoke of establishing the national stockpile for seized biddies and even floated the idea of paying off the U.S. national debt with a Bitcoin. Also, his history with the Bitcoin advocacy is well documented. He once argued that Bitcoin could enable Canadians to opt out of inflation at a time when Bitcoin hovered at 40 Gs. Since then, the Bitcoin price has surged, reaching an all-time high of 108.3, a 170% surge. Pierre famously showcased his support for Bitcoin by purchasing shawarma with Bitcoin in March of 2022, quipping that, "You'll never believe how a shop owner outsmarted the government to beat the inflation. Today I am buying lunch from him and bringing my Bitcoin wallet." He also posted back in April 2022, the Bank of Canada says Bitcoiners lack financial literacy. This from the same people who promised we'd have deflation right before inflation hit a 30-year high. It is our central bank that is financially illiterate. Preach, as well as money printing deficits, making our wages go up in smoke, like Cheech and Chong in this piece. Hashtag just inflation. We need sound money again, and also freedom for the buyers and sellers to choose the Biddy and any other tech. Despite Bitcoin's strong performance, he also faced criticism from the Liberal Party and other political adversaries. Critics labeled his stance a political wedge issue, prompting him to go relatively quiet on the matter. However, in November of 2024, his speech argued Canadians should be free to decide whether or not they want to use Bitcoin. Preach, adding that he had no desire to ban the Biddy. Smart man. You can't ban it, by the way. You can try, but everyone will circumvent it, just like we have witnessed in bans of China previously. Just preaching to the choir here. Some other nations as well, and he also has been a vocal opponent against the CBDC is good. One stating emphatically, there will be no central bank digital currency. Trump promised us the same thing. And while no official plans or policies have been confirmed, the possibility of a Bitcoin reserve closer than ever for Canada if Trudeau does step down and Pierre becomes the next prime minister. So my question for y'all, do you think Pierre will become the prime minister? Will they adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender or put it on the treasury, such as like the United States plans to do with the Trumpster? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll read those comments out loud. Welcome, everyone, to the live stream. Now for our feature story of the day. Bitcoin on the way to $1 million this year in 2025, according to PlanB, creator of the Bitcoin stock-to-flow model. So let's break it down, family. Here we go. PlanB, known for the stock-to-flow model. Let me know how many of you have been following the stock-to-flow. We've been covering it here on the channel since the inception of the pod. States the Bitcoin is ready for new cycle of growth. According to his analysis, the average price of the Biddy will reach $500,000 per coin in the period between 2024 and 2028, which is ultimately between last year, the time of the halving, and 2028, the time of the next halving, with a range between $250,000 and $1 million. Let me know if you agree, disagree with the creator of the Bitcoin stock-to-flow model. PlanB's prediction is now set, or nothing new. Since 2022, he reiterated this goal despite criticism and doubts from the community. And according to PlanB, the stock-to-flow model, which measures the scarcity by comparing the number of the new biddies with the existing supply, provides an accurate indication of the future price levels. PlanB's past predictions, such as the 108 peak in 2024, have further cemented its reputation as a data-driven analyst. That's right. Charts don't lie, family. My forward guidance, he says, for 2025 has not changed since 2022, when Bitcoin was 20 Gs. See below, and here's the receipts. He predicted a rise into the April 2024 halving. Check. He predicted a halving around the stock-to-flow value. Check. He predicted a pump after the halving. Check. He predicted 100,000 in 2024. You know we hit 108. Check. And the next prediction, which didn't come to fruition yet, is in 2025, hit the stock-to-flow target of an average of 500,000 per coin with a range between 250 and 1 million. And here's the receipts laid out for you right here. This was the original tweet from October 6th of 2022. And like clockwork, I mean, stock to flow, granted, it was a little off the mark more recently for the previous cycle, but I think it's because we had some black swan events which weren't calculated in, but still over the long haul, very accurate in comparison to a lot of the other, metrics which we like to cover on the show. Now, the Bitcoin halving in 2024 occurred in April, is seen as an important catalyst for the expected price increases. As you know, during the halving, the reward for the miners gets halved, resulting in a reduction of the supply of the new coins. This mechanism contributed to the prices of the past, as seen in 2017 and 2021. And hitting you with another tweet here from PlanB. This was actually dated April 17th, so this was around the time of the halving. and this got 760,000 views in my opinion. This Bitcoin halving will not be different. All the Bitcoin price increase will again be around the halving, buying 6 million before the halving and selling 18 million after the halving. And he says Bitcoin greater than 100,000 in 2024 obviously came true. He thinks the Bitcoin top will be greater than 300,000 per coin in 2025. Then Adam Back chimed in. I am thinking Bitcoin to gold this coming, I guess he means overtaking gold the coming cycle. PlanB says agreed. Bitcoin must take out gold because it has 2x scarcity. Divided by the stock to flow. My Bitcoin top greater than 300,000 per coin is the low end of the 250,000 and 1 million range. Last cycle, I took the high end and Bitcoin decided to go to the low end. Let's see how this will work out. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with that prediction of the stock to flow. In addition, the institutional adoption too. We got the big players like MicroStrategy who recently increased their holdings of 446,000 Bitcoin, are strengthening the confidence as Bitcoin as a store of value. This not only increases demand, but also sets the firm floor under the price. Strong roots, family. Now, with a forecast value of 500,000 as a guideline, many believe Bitcoin is an attractive asset. I'd say the most attractive asset we've ever seen. However, the acquisition or question remains whether these predictions hold up in a market that offers both opportunity and risk. Well, of course, everything naturally has a risk. No risk, no reward.